Alrighty, g'day ladies and gentlemen, legends of the highest regard, and welcome back to Just Some Aussie Gamer channel. So today we're going to be doing leg number 2 of our easternmost point to westernmost point Australian tour in bush aircraft. Today's flight is going to take us from Stanthorpe, which is that wine region that we landed in it's probably about 3 weeks ago now, I think, since we did the last one of these flights. And we're going to be heading over to Goondiwindi, which is a major agricultural centre on the New South Wales-Queensland border. So in the previous flights I've used the X-Cub, I believe. I'm going to be giving the Cessna 170B backcountry a bit of an opportunity in this one. It's a freeway aircraft that I picked up from flightsim.to, and I'm just interested in seeing what it's all about, really, whether it's any good, etc. So I figured this would be a good way to test that out. Anyway, either way, guys, welcome to the stream. Hope you are all doing very, very well. I'd obviously like to start off by saying a massive shout out to the Patreons who continue to support this channel above and beyond in the behind the scenes, and of course receive benefits for doing that. I'm not going to go into what those benefits are. The imagination can run wild on that one. Yes, exactly, Fozzie. Gundawindi. Exactly. Welcome to Australia, mate, where you think Goondiwindi's a interesting name. You should see some of the other places that we're going to be heading to on this easternmost to westernmost point streams. You're going to get a very, very good taste of rural and Aboriginal Australia, and some of the names that many people would not be familiar with or would find quite different. Simply due to the fact that, a lot of them are their original names that were given by the Aboriginal people. So, as I was saying, the Patreons. So, I'd like to obviously make a huge shout out to Drew Damarinus, Black Adder, Garland Grimm, Josh Manchester, Calling Pigeon, Tony Barrow, Wes, and Big Jacko's Gaming. Thank you very much for the continued behind-the-scenes support of the channel. It certainly does go a long way. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to Fozzie as well, who continues to support the channel financially through his boosting of the Discord server. I feel I may as well be including him as a Patreon at this point, because he is financially assisting the channel in ways that are above and beyond the casual viewer. So thank you very much for that as well, Fozzie. Right, so I can see that there's an aircraft next to me, but I'm too close to them to see the name tags. I can only assume it's probably going to be Ched Abob, very likely. Seeing as I believe he's one of the only ones who has his sim working since the update, or the mandatory update, which surprised the hell out of me. I don't know if I haven't been keeping up with things in the flight sim world, but when I loaded up the sim about an hour ago, I certainly wasn't expecting a mandatory update. Luckily, it was only 4.5 gigabytes, so it only took, about 40 minutes to get sorted and get installed and all that, which was good, seeing as I'd scheduled the stream before I'd loaded up the sim. Amateur mistakes are made sometimes. So now I'd like to obviously go through and say good day to each and every one of you who have joined us today in the chat. So I'd like to say, first up, a good day to GC Bounds, who I believe might be lurking, but he's not going to be able to join the flight tonight because of schoolwork. Either way, GC Bounds, if you still are hanging around, mate, g'day, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing very, very well, and don't overdo it on the schoolwork too much. Make sure that you give yourself plenty of time and plenty of breaks in between, so that you're always at your best. Taking advice from somebody who left school 12 years ago, I don't know if that's a recommended scenario, but anyway. Excuse me, Star, that's my foot, not your bone. If you could just remain to biting on your bone, that would be great. Thanks. Steve Allen is here. He says he's going to be lurking because he's working and adulting. Oh, yuck. Poor you. No, Steve, that is absolutely putrid. I feel for you, mate. I feel for you. Fozzie is reinstalling the sim because Microsoft Flight Simulator has never really liked Fozzie, and it's just proving once and again that it's racist against Americans, obviously. Garwin, he won't be here for a while because he's got the update, and I get the feeling that that's going to be a running theme in today's stream, is that there's going to be a lot of people who will probably be joining midway through or not at all, simply because of Bing update. It is what it is, and that's fine. Chris Cheddarbob says, hello, g'day Chris, mate, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, 4 gig without doing the inside stuff, that's exactly right, Garwin. I didn't do the inside stuff, I just ran the 4 and a bit gig update and just went with that. That was surprising. Oh, Garwin forgot to switch servers. Yeah, ouch, that's not great. Icarus is here as well, and he's also... Okay, my, hello? There we go. The chat was just refusing to move. That's King Garwin to me? Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. 100%. Sorry, King Garwin. I apologise. I will refer to you in the correct manner for the rest of the stream, okay? I bow down and ask for your forgiveness, good sir. You were on the beta, Chris, so you didn't have to update today. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well done on getting on the beta as well. That's pretty cool, mate. I'll give you that. That's really, really cool. Yeah, let's go with that. Exactly right, Fozzie. Let's go with that. Okay. Right. Make sure that that is up there like that. Now, have we got anyone over on Twitchy? We do not have anyone over on Twitchy. Fair enough. God, I hate my mouse. Sometimes my mouse just doesn't give a shit. It just does what it wants, when it wants, how it wants, with who it wants. So the winds today are a direct crosswind straight across the runway, so take your pick on which end of the runway you're going to take off from. Obviously we are flying bush planes, so I don't exactly see it being a requirement to utilise the whole runway here. It'll also be interesting to see if my old school aircraft has autopilot. As I said, this is literally just me testing out this freeware Cessna 170. About the only thing I will point out is that, well, some of the interior gauges, it's a bit FSX-y in the way that it's done. But other than that, I can't really complain because it was free. So now the question is, how do I start this thing? So... prime it. Okay, this is gonna require me to find like a battery switch and alternator switch. Maybe? Wes is lurking with Milo. G'day, mate. I'll wave to you so that you can see me because you can't hear me. Gowan says, I love car guys and race people. I spent 20 minutes tonight talking with the new president owner of one of the tracks and trying to convince him that we need a Portaloo closer. I have not laughed so hard in a long, long time. That's great, Gowan. That's really cool. Really, really cool. Where the hell is the battery and alternator switches in this aircraft? Anybody know? Does anybody know? I cannot see any otherwise I'm just going to go with the good old-fashioned cheats way of starting the aircraft. In fact, I think I'm just going to go with that because I literally cannot see any battery or alternator switches. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it's all just linked into the throttle and the starter. Who knows? Yeah, no, I found the fuel switch, Brett. I found the fuel switch. It's down there in between the seats. But cannot find the battery or alternator switch for this aircraft. Alright, so I'm gonna take off the parking brake here and we're gonna start making our way to runway. I'm quite liking the old school so far of this aircraft. It's quite cool. I can only assume that the runway is behind me here. I did have a look up top, Brett, and I couldn't find anything. So for this flight, I just went with the Control E, and then at the end of the flight, I'll spend some time in this aircraft seeing what it's all about and see if I can find the switches. It's the Cessna 170B backcountry, the freeware one from flightsim.to. Ooh, somebody's in the Corsair. Yeah, I've hidden the yokes, Brett. I'll reinstate them before we actually take off. I just hid them because I was looking for the battery alternator switches. Alright. No switches on them, Brett. Alright, let's slowly bring her up. There we go. Alright, the question is, how well am I going to counteract this crosswind? Not too badly, actually. Wow, 4.3 gigabytes in 17 minutes. That's incredibly quick, Icarus. That's incredibly quick. Oh, you don't have your, you don't have your Starlink yet, Brett. How annoying. Oh yeah, shit, there's no moderators currently in the chat. Whoops! And I can't really do anything right this second. Actually, yes, there is. Fozzie's in the chat. And so I can't really do anything right now because this plane has no autopilot whatsoever. So now that we're up, got a bit of altitude here, we're going to make a right-hander and start to join up with our flight plan, which I don't know, I'm hoping it'll show up here, but we're going to be flying over Donnelly's Castle, or Castle, whatever you want to refer to it as. G'day Metas, mate. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing fantastically. So the minimum safe altitude for this flight is 4,500 feet. Now we're almost there. So I need to make a left-hander now to join up with our flight plan. That's a very tight left-hander, Bryce. Be careful, this is just a GA aircraft. It's not an acrobatics plane. Or an aerobatics plane, should I say. Acrobatics is something very, very different to aerobatics. Alright. Now we can pull a little bit of throttle out, start to get that nose to drop down. Now, what is that? That is the primer, that is the starter, that is the mixture. Have we got... I was gonna say that was a freeze for a second there. Alright, come on. Nose down a little bit, we don't want to keep climbing here. Sorry guys, just concentrating for a moment and getting everything sort of where I need it to be. and I'll be back with you in the chat in not very long. I'm just going to go to the outside viewpoint here in the hope that we might be able to see Donnelly's castle. Maybe not. I think that is what they are depicting as Donnelly's castle, which is not, well, it's not really a castle, is it? Okay, we are still climbing a bit. I still need to pull a bit more engine RPMs out here, get it back into the green. Like so. Okay. Right, okay. I am now back with you in the chat here, ladies and gentlemen. So, oh yes, that music is, I don't know, I don't mind it, that particular song. That is very fitting going. I didn't even know that, mate, but I always thought the Lotus Elise was, at least with the name-wise, was the most pretty-sounding Lotus that they had. You know, the Exige and all that, nice cars, but I was just always a bit like, that's a bit of a weird name, but Elise is, you know, it's a nice name. 9 gig in the content manager, so I didn't do that before the stream, Icarus. I'm going to do that after the stream because it doesn't appear to affect Australia too much. Alright, so we're coming up on our first waypoint here, which is Lareg. So I'm going to start making a left-hander. There really is nothing after Lareg in terms of populace or landmarks or waypoints or anything. It's just literally, we are now in outback remote Australia here. Luckily we have an aircraft though that is got Tundra tyres and all that, so it's extraordinarily capable. If we were to have any sort of issues in this area, we could very much put it down, no problems, if we needed to. So we've got about 30 nautical miles now of just nothingness, complete and utter nothingness. A few state forests, stuff like that, but otherwise, there's going to be nothing. And this is basically Australia for you. The further you get away from the coast, the more sparse the people and the landmarks becomes. So right now we are over the Pas Chengale State Forest. And then once we leave that, which we're about to here at the last little bit of trees that we're just flying over now, our next waypoint is when we are coming into Inglewood. And I don't mean in Los Angeles either. Ah, it's the head honcho's granddaughter. I guess that makes a lot of sense, Garland. We can bugger off the Molly Ingram bot now that posted way above. The bots have stopped being Russian bots. I think they might be potentially banned from YouTube at the moment for certain reasons. need to turn my fan on in here. It is warm. Well, not warm, but it's humid. The air around me is so thick I could literally get a straw out and drink it. So we've got Chris over there in his Britain Norman Islander. We've got Steve behind us in the Husky. This 170B is a really nice aircraft to fly. Once I figure out how to start the damn thing manually, it's going to be really awesome. Icarus in his P51? Yeah. And he appears to be in a flat spin to his death. And dead. Right, well that was eventful, I must say. Very, very eventful way of making an entrance into the stream there, Icarus. -5 Fahrenheit outside, you're so done with winter. I can understand why, Garland, that's incredibly cold. Dirty slew time. Oh, sorry, Murray. According to my Twitch thingamajiggy in my Streamlabs, Murray, nobody's watching over on Twitch. So that's why I wasn't taking any notice of it. How you going, Murray? How you going? Good old stitch up from Streamlabs there. Tells me that no one's watching me over on Twitch and it's not feeding me Twitch chat. Yes, the colour of the Cessna 170B dashboard is not, it's not nice, but I mean, it's a very, very old aircraft. Like, I believe it's a 1940s, like 1949 or something, this aircraft, so it's pretty old. And of course, cream was the colour of choice back then, or brown, or pink, or yellow, or, you know, all those colours. Yeah, exactly. Like watching the old Roadrunner cartoon show and the coyote falling to his death. Icarus is the coyote. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you look out to the front of the aircraft, you'll see a whole lot of nothingness. If you look to your left, you'll see a whole lot of nothingness. And out to your right, we have a whole lot of nothingness. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing, Murray, because it still says that nobody's watching me on Twitch, and yet I'm having a conversation with you because you're watching me on Twitch. So, go figure. I mean, I don't think it means that, Murray. However, the feeling you might be experiencing, you might be feeling a bit dead inside just because of the way of the world. That's pretty common. Your thing on top is not working. What's my thing on top? Oh, my Fly Live Studio. Yeah, why isn't that working? That's weird, isn't it? It's all keyed in and it's all connected up to the sim in the way it should be. Yeah, that goes with the rest of the nothing else that's working. That's exactly right. Going. Yeah, when I saw you enter the spin, Icarus, I was like, oh god, here we go. Here we go. And I was like, oh, maybe he'll be able to control it, but it was just relentless all the way down to the ground. Oh, Murray. At least Twitch now says that I've got you watching. Icarus probably flew too close to the sun. If he's able to get a P-51 Mustang up near the sun, I have nothing but respect and applause for the man, because that is a gallant effort in its entirety. So we're about to fly over the Mcintyre State Forest. That's the state forests are the only real points of interest that we're going to have here until we get to Inglewood. Well, Murray, because I know you still haven't banged Katy Perry, but mate, like, what are you waiting for? The world's just going from disaster to disaster to disaster. We've had 2 and a bit years of COVID and a global pandemic, and now we've got a war that potentially could become World War III. I feel like is a better time more than ever to fulfill your bucket list goals. Fly Live needs cache resetting in Streamlabs. Okay, I'll do that after the stream on that one then, Brett. Oh, right mouse click on name in Streamlabs and property. Yeah. Oh yeah, going. The P-51's an amazing aircraft. I don't see it being utilised for space travel or travelling towards the sun. Like, very good plane, but I just don't think that's quite what it's designed for. What we have off here to the left, about 2.5 nautical miles away, is the bustling city of Terrica. As you can see, massive amount of people reside there. Let's see if we can count all the houses and buildings that are in Terrica. What can I count so far? 1. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 farms, and that's it. That's Terrica for you. Anyway, moving along. You could live in a place like that. The problem with a place like this, Garwin, in Australia is it is so cut off from like the metropolitan parts that, even basic supplies can be hard to get your hands on without a full day's travelling. Like, I too like living in small, regional areas and all that, but I also like the convenience of, you know, maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, having a major town where I can buy my food and get all the stuff that I sort of need to, you know, live. She keeps giving you booty calls, but you don't know. You need her to buy you dinner first. Are you, is that your way of grasping at the whole feminism thing? You know, you want to reverse the cards because she's a strong, independent. I mean, to be fair, she's got enough money to probably buy you dinner, Murray. So I don't have a big enough imagination. Yeah, sorry, my name's not Paul McCartney. I can't imagine all the people. Murray says, why can I imagine a legion of intelligent turnips banding together to overthrow Stalin in 1994 despite him passing away decades earlier, and then flying the Kremlin to the moon on the back of a 1967 Buick Skylark? Murray, genuinely, how high are you right now? Sorry, that was John Lennon, actually, Murray. That's my bad on that one. They're both Beatles, you know, whatever. You're sober right now? Okay, maybe that's the problem then, Murray. Oh, are you talking about changing the thing while flying, Brett? Yeah, I know I can probably do it whilst flying, but this Cessna requires a little bit of continuous adjustments because I've got about 10 knots of crosswind directly across. So if I leave it too long without touching the controls, it goes off, of course. What a waste of a good car. So now we're over the Terrica State Forest, which is just another bunch of trees on hills with various four-wheel drive tracks and camping areas and all that. If you like bush bashing, camping, fishing, remote Australia, you can't really, and the temperatures are never going to get too cold either. So, I mean, remote Australia is a great place for you to journey through if that's your kind of holiday. Yes, the nice body of water ahead is the Mcintyre Brook in the Kulamunda Conservation Park. So, once we pass over that body of water, we're going to be slowly entering back into some slightly populated areas again. So I'm trying to position the aircraft here so that we do go over the Mcintyre Brook. I'm also trying to position it so that we come up in over the Green Up meeting place, which is a camping ground just on the shores of the Mcintyre Brook here. And then just on the other side of the Green Up meeting place is the Kulamunda Conservation Park. On the other side of the Mcintyre Brook is the Lake Kulamunda campsite, which is also right on the shores here of the Mcintyre Brook. Although something tells me that the Mcintyre Brook may also be referred to as Lake Kulamunda by the locals, seeing as it's called the Lake Kulamunda campsite. Oh, Brett, how bad is the humidity, mate? You know, it's not hot. I would not call it hot. In fact, let me bring up the weather app here. Yeah, it's only 25 degrees, but the humidity is disgusting. It's like 80% humidity. I literally feel like I'm breathing soup. You like that song that was played previously, Garwin? I can chuck you the name. There we go. How long ago did you, what was the edible, Murray? Cookie, brownie, protein ball? You got a jacket on? Oh, I don't need that. Although I guess it would be a little bit colder there in Tasmania than it is here, Brett. Did it rain for you? It hasn't rained here, Brett. It's just been, since about 5 p.m. yesterday, it's just been like breathing soup. It has just been so incredibly humid. I reckon the sky's pretty overcast and dark. I reckon late this afternoon, evening, I reckon we're going to see some thunderstorms out this way. Well, Twitch is broken again and stopped telling me that people are watching and all that. So that's fantastic. So Murray, if you can hear me, I am unaware of the fact that you're there anymore, and if you're typing in chat, chat's not currently working again. You had minor flooding, Brett. Really? I mean, because like as the crow flies, Brett, in the scheme of things, you're not actually that far from me. You'd be what? If I was able to take off a plane from my street or whatever, even just a GA aircraft or whatever, I could easily be landing on your driveway in what, maybe 2 hours? If I just flew straight across, not following any flight plans, just a direct GPS. So you would have thought that the weather wouldn't be that drastically different, but there you go. Yeah, there you go. 300 kilometers south of me. Yeah, so not a massive distance at all. You got the rain direct from the new... Oh, so then maybe... The only thing I can assume then, Brett, is that East Gippsland possibly got some of the deluge, but I got lucky because I'm a little bit closer to Metropolitan. That's the only thing I can really think of. But I'm glad you didn't get the full entirety of the New South Wales Queensland deluge, because that is next level right now. They've got Ow, Star, that hurt. They've got rivers and lakes that are reaching record levels, and not just record levels by over 5 meters more than what they were at their previous record levels. It's quite insane. One of the homes, Garwin says, one of the homes that took major damage with ice last week was 3 days from closing a sale on it. That's got to be so frustrating from the perspective of both the current owner and the person who bought it. Like, you'd just be like, oh. But the owner can't. The current owner can't get frustrated too much, and the prospective buyer can't get frustrated either, because both situations are out of their control. That would drive me nuts. I mean, I'd have to get a steering wheel attached first, and I'm not sure I'm prepared to go through the medical procedure for that. But if I was, it would drive me nuts. Yeah, he backed out. That's got to be so frustrating. So this is Australia's version of Inglewood. A little bit different to the LA version of Inglewood. As you can see, it's much bigger and there's much more people living here than there is in the LA version. Use the installed joystick to drive the nuts. For the love of God, I'm gonna freaking strangle Twitch in a minute. I don't usually have any issues with Twitch, but when I do, so I can't remember what river it is exactly, Garwin. I think it's the Lismore or something in northern New South Wales. The previous height record is like 13 metres, and it's currently at nearly 17 metres and still growing. It's just stupid. Like, the amount of rain that is currently occurring in that part of Australia is just... You can barely use words to describe it. Yeah, so the problem is, Brett, I can't read the stream chat because I'm flying this flight without autopilot. I've got little nav map open here, whereas I would usually have Streamlabs up. So instead I'm flicking between Twitch and YouTube, and just... Twitch is being really shit today. Yeah, so now I can see your comment there, Brett, whereas previously all the comments had just disappeared. So I reloaded the creator dashboard and it fixed the problem. Does anyone know if you can send little navmap to an Android device? I'm unaware, however that would be very good if I could. So, Brett, I've got to speak to Dave because supposedly there's a way to get all your chats to go through the Streamlabs chatbot from all the various services that you're streaming to. Nothing like a little bit of coconut water refreshment. There's not very many good coconut waters on the market, but I think I've found two that are, like, I don't like most coconut water. I've found two that are really, really nice and actually taste like, you know, you've just gone to the side of the road in Thailand or whatever and literally picked up a green coconut with a straw in it, like they offer. Chatbot. Oh, you might be able to do it on chat and Streamlabs as well, Brett, but supposedly there's a way to do it in chatbot. But I need to speak to Dave or Wes about that. My biggest problem is that I just don't have the time. Although that will change, obviously, now that I've got 3 staff members and the ability to have 3 days off per week. Hopefully from mid-March. Yeah, I'd love to see some VR streams. You go and try getting VR to stream a single screen and it was pissing him off. Yeah. I just don't know if the program support and all that properly exists yet to stream VR without annoying shit getting under your skin, basically. That's a good thing, Garwin. I still haven't managed to catch one of your streams, mate. I really hope I can before you make it to the end of your long, easy world journey. I know the times don't necessarily match up, but yeah, I'm really hoping that I'm able to catch minimum one. I'd like to catch more than that, but yeah. You have stopped until you get the microphone issue fixed? Oh yeah, that makes sense, mate. Yeah, I remember you telling me, Brett, you yeah, having somebody read out the chat. I mean, that's a great way to go about it, but you would, I'm just hoping that eventually they get the, you know, programs to work with VR so that those who fly and, you know, play various simulators and games and stuff in VR are able to obviously then stream without changing the way they do their content. Yeah, I guess, Brett, that probably comes down to the fact that Twitch is geared towards streaming and streaming only. So, of course, they're going to implement every single thing that they can to make streaming okay on Twitch, no matter how you go about it. Whereas YouTube is, as you know, very much more about video creation, and streaming is just another service they offer. Garwin. Can't see your hand. Yeah. Funny. So Garwin, is that your way of saying that when you're playing Truck Sim, you're just continuously flipping the rest of us off, or? Hey, Brian. How you going, mate? Welcome to the stream. He says, hey, mate, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Brian. Good to see you as well. Gran Turismo 7 drops Friday. I'd love to get involved, Garwin, but I don't have a PlayStation. So unless it's going to be available on PC, I'm probably not going to be able to get involved. And I'm certainly not in a position to go and buy a PlayStation just for Gran Turismo. So we are literally right now flying, and for most of this flight we have been flying the New South Wales-Queensland border. Where that river is, that's snaking along there, just in the distance, that is the Queensland-New South Wales border. Oh, it's never too late to join, Brian. It's just, we've only got about 45 nautical miles left of flying, but we are flying incredibly slow aircraft, so it's never too late to join, mate. You're more than welcome to jump in. Just obviously jump in something incredibly slow. Like my ground speed is 90 knots, and I am at max cruising speed in this thing. Oh, but you see, Garwin, and don't take this the wrong way, you're probably in a position to be able to do that. I don't see that as something that you need to hang your head in shame about. I'm just not in that position because, as you know, for the last 3 months I've been paying like $1,600 a month rent on my own. What you barking at? No. I asked what you're barking at. I didn't say come up. I said What are you barking at? Yeah, well there you go, Garwin. If you've been saving for it, it's completely different. She likes to make her presence known just occasionally with a bit of you know, I'm here, guys. That's exactly right, Garwin. That is exactly right. Your money now to do whatever you want with it. One thing I'm actually, to come back to what we're just flying along right now within the sim, I'm actually incredibly surprised that the soil below us has not turned that iron rusty red yet. The fact that it hasn't changed colour means that even though we are flying remote, we're not flying as remote as we possibly could be. What are you doing, Star? Sorry, I'm going to put this on active pause for 2 seconds here, guys. I'm just going to go see what the hell she's doing, because I can hear all sorts of weird noises. I don't know what she was getting into, but there's no... the moment that I stepped out of my room, she came just wandering down the corridor like, who, me? I'm innocent. So, I don't know. Flying an old cub into a stiff headwind, you just sit there. Yeah, this thing is, this Cessna is really struggling. As we're curving around and getting that 11 knot crosswind is slowly becoming more and more of a headwind, we're getting slower and slower and slower. So we are, I think that's that marker that's sitting there, I believe is telling us that we are about 18 nautical miles from the top of descent. However, because we're flying a bush plane and we're only a couple thousand feet off the ground, I don't know how much truth there is to that being the top of descent. But we will start a slow descent pattern once we do hit that marker, because Gundawindi Airport is only 700 feet above ground, whereas where we took off from was like 3,500 feet. Brett says I might have too many mods. I need hard drive space for the update. Yes. That might be the realization point, Brett. 22 gigabytes of payware scenery will have to live on another drive. Yes. That's a lot of payware scenery, Brett. Gowan put in a 4 terabyte solid state for nothing but this game, so you hope you don't run out. Gowan, if you manage to fill a 4 terabyte solid state drive with just Microsoft Flight Simulator related stuff, I feel like you probably should be receiving an award for the biggest Microsoft Flight Simulator library currently. That is a lot of space. I know Microsoft Flight Simulator is a big sim, especially when you start adding sceneries and aftermarket bits and pieces and all that, but bloody hell. Yeah, you never will because you don't use anything that's not in the store, yeah. That's just the Orbex stuff, Brett? Bloody hell. I remember the days when Orbex was this tiny little company based in Australia that did freeware, high quality freeware sceneries for FSX. Put the new X-Plane on it, yeah. It with a solid state drive of that size, Brett, I feel like you've kind of got the freedom to, sorry, not Brett, Garwin, should I say. I feel like you've kind of got the freedom to run multiple sims off of the one drive. Fun with Friends, Key West, Brisbane International, the River Run, Sydney, Brisbane City, Dubai City, Taipei City, and Iceland. I'm surprised you don't have like Hobart, Cambridge, or is that just the Orbex stuff, the pure Orbex stuff that you're referring to there, Brett? Because yeah, actually now that I think about it, Hobart and all that is NZA, not Orbex. You missed them on sale. Fair enough. Yeah, it's the only time I really tend to buy payware scenery as well, is when there's some sort of sale on. Otherwise, I'd end up racking up thousands of dollars of payware scenery. Oh, that happens to me sometimes, Garwin, directly after an update's been installed. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. So because we've come a little bit north of the flight plan, I'm going to make a left-hander a little bit here. I'm going to head directly for our next waypoint, which is Boggabilla Airstrip. And Boggabilla Airstrip legitimately goes across the Queensland-New South Wales border. Yeah, microshaft, exactly. $32 each seems crazy, doesn't it, Brett? It doesn't when you think about the effort that NZA Simulations puts into their sceneries. I mean, it's very much worth that sort of money, but at the same time, you look at it and go, like, that's $64 for 2 airports that are right next to each other. Adds up real quick. You still have 37 gigabytes of payware aircraft in your community folder. Brett, I'd hate to see how much freeware stuff you have as well. I can only imagine it would be probably close to 50 gigabytes. With all your freeware add-on videos and stuff that you do. No worries, Garwin. All good, mate. Sometimes it's the way. All this cotton farming down here. Bit of a contentious topic in itself. No short terrain. I'm not going to visit your screwed up site. You have 142 gigabytes of freeware aircraft and liveries. Fucking hell, Brett. That is insane. Alright, we're going to start slowing this down a little bit more, getting that nose to dip. Start to drop a bit of altitude here. Because Bogabilla is only about 7 or 8 nautical miles. The airstrip is only about 7 or 8 nautical miles out of Goondiwindi. $302 gigabytes of FSX converted. That is a little bit over the top. Alright, so we are definitely dropping this altitude nice and slowly. Yeah, Brett, I do not blame you. Before I took up the role as the head chef full time, because I was, obviously doing so much recording and editing and all that sort of stuff, I very, very, very nearly invested in a 15 gigabyte external hard drive for just backing up all my raw recordings and all that onto. But based on the way that life has gone, it would be a very, very poor investment decision based on what I know now. I've got a 12 terabyte cloud going. I think if it's a 12 terabyte cloud, you probably need to refer to it as a storm cloud, just because it's so big. Alright, so we're heading over to our next waypoint, which is... and that's where we'll be lining our way up with the runway here at Gundawindi. Now, Goondiwindi has only got a population of 6,000 people, but it's got a lot of stuff. It's got major shopping centres, department stores, the whole lot, and I believe it's because it's just one of the very few major towns that's in this area. And because it's a very high, the Goondiwindi and the surrounding area has got an extremely high level of agricultural farming traffic, crops, cotton, all that sort of stuff. That whilst the town doesn't have a massive population, the surrounding area obviously needs access to many things. So it's one of those small places in Australia that you go to and go, why has a town of 6,000 people got so much? You have a 24 terabyte NAS. Bloody hell, Garland. You could, well, you can store a lot of stuff, that's for sure. A RAID drive, a RAID setup, should I say, would be really cool. And then I could always, say this is a RAID without even going on Twitch. The Dell Edge Swerver, hey, is that like a server but it's in a continuous turn? Or it's just all over the road? Alright, there's Gundawindi Airport. Let's enter the cockpit, pull the power out, let's drop that nose down. Gonna be landing here with a slight tailwind, but nothing, nothing crazy. Trying to get a fair bit of altitude out of this thing so that then I can pull the flaps and really get that speed out. Boom, those flaps are strong. Alright, so I've never been good at landing tail draggers, so let's see if I can continue that trend. Oh God. Thanks for the freeze there, Microsoft Flight Simulator, whilst I've got my bloody rudder turned. Yeah, it was alright until I got a bloody freeze mid-rudder turn. That part wasn't so good. In comes Cheddar Bob in his Britain Norman Islander. It's a nice plane to fly. I wish it had at least a basic autopilot. Yes, definitely spoke too soon on that one, Brett. Absolutely. There was no way I was recovering from that after the stutter. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to end, Garwin. Very, very much so, mate. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gundawindi Aerodrome here, still on the border of New South Wales and Queensland, just a little bit further in to remote Australia. As you can see, the colour of the ground is now starting to change. You know, we were sort of still a little bit green and light yellow when we took off from Stanthorpe. Now we're getting a darker yellowy, almost browny golden colour now. As we go further and further in, that's obviously going to turn more and more reddy orange as we go. I will probably alternate between this aircraft and ones with autopilot, depending on, you know, how I'm feeling at that particular flight. You know, if I feel like just chilling out in chat with you guys and not having to concentrate on keeping the aircraft on the flight path, I'll probably fly the X-Cup, otherwise I'll be in this thing. If you haven't grabbed this thing from flightsim.to and you want old school Tundra Cessna with no, very, very basic, you know, turn the key, start the engine, not much else to, you know, play with kind of thing, do recommend grabbing this thing. But ladies and gentlemen, I would obviously like to say another massive shout out to the Patreons for the continued behind the scenes support of the channel. That is Drew DeMarinis, Wes, Big Jacko's Gaming, King Garwin, yes, I did say that, Josh Manchester, Blackadder, Calling Pigeon, and Tony Barrow. Appreciate you guys a lot for your behind the scenes support of the channel. To the rest of you who did join in today's stream, whether it was in the chat, whilst you waited for your sim to update, whether you actually were able to jump in and fly along, I appreciate all of you. Hope you all did enjoy this flight. I know I certainly did. There wasn't a huge amount of towns and stuff to see, but as you can tell from the sim, Australia is a vast place of just colours that are continuously changing that can very much captivate the imagination sometimes. But ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we'll see you later this week for another stream. I'm hoping World Adventure. But until next time, legends, wherever you are in the world, you look after yourself, stay safe, stay well, don't do anyone I wouldn't do. I need to maybe breathe during those, possibly, so I don't die. Until next time, guys, catch you all later.
Destroy everything. My demons tell